So, come Saturday night, I'm coming in here to beat his. He gonna come, he gonna be tough, strong, but I'm coming to whoop his. I stand by that. I stand by that. I'm f***ing him up. Yeah.
False accusation.
You gotta think, right? It's okay.
I can't wait to beat this clown, bro. This dude is a clown.
Focus on me.
You better have that chin ready, baby. You better have it ready.
Real clown.
I already figured you out.
You not fighting.
What else you got, man?
Yo, Senior, you're
I only
not
seen
in the
10
ring.
seconds of your fight.
I seen you fight before.
I only
You
seen
can't
10
fight.
seconds of your fight. You're boring as hell.
Come on, bro. Stop it, bro.
Boring, man. You almost got knocked out. Even your daughter said you got knocked out.
Knocked out. Tio got hurt his last fight too.
Ooh.
Didn't he get hurt his last fight?
Man, if it wasn't for those
Did Tio get hurt his last fight?
My son don't be throwing punches,
Did Tio
man.
get hurt his last fight?
My
I
son
watched
don't be
him.
throwing punches,
I paid
man.
attention.
Things took a sharp turn at the Stevenson versus Lopez press conference when Terence Crawford suddenly inserted himself into the moment. What had started as controlled promotion instantly shifted once Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez dropped the formalities and began targeting each other's egos instead of the microphones.
I think that he did some great things against them guys. I seen a lot of weaknesses in his game too, and something that he said earlier. He said, Tio never lost to a southpaw. Well, I never lost to an orthodox. So it ain't no different, but
the difference is you never fought no elite fighter.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think y'all did
you.
either. I ain't see.
Not on my son.
I ain't see Lomachenko throw no punches.
You
for
never
6
been on a big
rounds.
stage like this.
I didn't see Lomachenko throw punches for 6 rounds.
You never been on a big stage like
I
this.
didn't see Lomachenko throw punches.
Because we
for 6
froze him.
rounds. Okay, you gonna see.
We gonna freeze you too.
You better not throw the towel.
The tension spiked quickly when Teofimo began boasting about victories over fighters like Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. Shakur didn't hold back for a second, firing back that those wins didn't compare, insisting that Teofimo had never faced someone of his caliber.
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that, you know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
Real hard.
Man, what do you say to that, bro? Like, do you hear him, bro? I just can't wait to beat him and shut him up, bro. Tio not on this level. Tio is a high-level fighter, but he's not on my level. I'm an elite level fighter, and come January 31st, I'm gonna.
After that exchange, things completely spiraled. Shakur didn't hold back, highlighting what he saw as Teofimo's mental vulnerabilities, while Teofimo shot back, calling Shakur overrated and unexciting. The two ended up talking over each other so intensely, it felt more like the final round of a fight than a press conference.
100 times better come fight night against Teofimo Lopez than I was against Cepeda. 1,000 times better. Faster, sharper, stronger, mentally more on point, and I can't wait.
You said a couple of times now you see some holes in Teofimo's game. I know you don't want to give away your game plan at the kickoff press conference, but where are the weaknesses? Where are some of the weaknesses in his game?
A lot of the weaknesses is in his mental. I think it's more mental than anything. Again, I'm going to expose.
The situation reached its boiling point when the barbs became personal. Voices rose, security remained on edge, and the entire room seemed just one spark away from a full-blown confrontation. Even seasoned promoters like Eddie Hearn attempted to steer the conversation toward legacy and greatness, but by that point, the fighters had completely taken control of the narrative.
Thanks for the reminder, Chris. This place is special. I think when this fight was talked about, I think both Shakur and Teofimo Lopez need a huge amount of credit for making this fight. Both of the guys are the respective kings of their division. Teofimo Lopez, the #1 guy at 140. Shakur, the #1 guy at 135. And when I heard about this fight, I didn't expect it to happen. And, you know, the work that His Excellency's done, Ring Magazine, to make this fight quite sensational. But the icing on the cake is to see the fight at Madison Square Garden. This is, for me, the absolute mecca of boxing.
When Turki Alshik joined the conversation, his calm, unimpressed tone only seemed to amplify the tension, making the chaos feel even more charged.
This fight is the first step of crazy map of boxing next year and the beginning of 27. This is not an easy fight. Thank you so much.
By the time the press conference wrapped, both fighters were openly discussing domination, embarrassment, and proving the other wrong, transforming what should have been routine promotion into a raw glimpse of the personal stakes involved. This wasn't just marketing. It was real tension on full display, making January 31st feel like a showdown that can't be avoided.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like, cause it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough Shakur up, and there's probably not.
Right after the press conference reached its boiling point, Teofimo's father stepped up to the microphone, and the energy shifted instantly, from chaotic tension to composed, measured confidence. Listening to him, it's clear this isn't just more trash talk. He's laying out a strategy and mindset. He isn't concerned with Shakur Stevenson's style or Philly shell technique. Instead, he's sending a clear message. We've seen it all, and we're not guessing. We're preparing. What really stands out is his focus on growth, discipline, and mental readiness.
And Crawford stated, you only got to me.
Yeah, but he really want to fight Crawford, and we're gonna call him out after we beat up his boy. You know,
that's still the game plan.
That's
even though
game
you guys
plan.
have, even if he requires you,
well, he ain't gonna fight us, man. He ain't gonna fight us, man. We've been chasing this guy for the longest. My son is even willing to go up to 160 to fight him. You know, listen, speed kills. You know what I'm saying? Speed kills, and that's why we're gonna beat Shakur. He ain't faster than us, and we're gonna catch him.
He paints Teofimo Lopez as a fighter who thrives on challenge, always stepping into danger rather than staying in comfort. And that perspective is compelling, whether you agree with it or not. As he speaks about prioritizing legacy over money, highlighting underdog victories over Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, and adjusting his style from fight to fight, the conviction in his voice is unmistakable. Yes, it's ambitious. Yes, it's dramatic. But it also mirrors the trajectory of Teofimo's career. He even dismisses distractions like ring size or flashy gimmicks, sending a clear message. We're not chasing highlight reels. We're here to outthink and outwork you.
Hey, we do this for the legacy. So I tell my son that when I told him, let's go after Colmig, let's go after Lomachenko, let's go after Josh Taylor. And all of those three fights, he was the underdog. You know what I'm saying? And big time. I mean, with Josh Taylor, he was like 23 experts said that he was going to lose. So, and he gave us an amazing performance, and it wasn't the same as the performance he gave with Barbosa's, like his styles have changed all the time. And that's the scariest part about him, and he comes to entertain.
Sure, some of the comparisons to fighters like Crawford or Canelo might feel a little over the top, but that's all part of the confidence package. The bigger takeaway is clear. Team Lopez isn't banking on luck. They truly believe that speed, adaptability, and relentless pressure can break Shakur's composure. Whether that mindset holds up for a full 12 rounds is a different question, but psychologically, this wasn't empty chatter. It was conviction. And when both camps are equally confident that they are smarter, faster, and better prepared, that's when a fight stops being predictable and becomes must-watch.
Did Shakur by any chance implement a bigger ring, or
We don't care about that, man. I mean, we're just gonna box this dude, man. We're not going in there for the knockout. We never do. The only fight that my son looked like sloppy was with Cambosis because he was dying in there, and he said that he felt better when he was attacking more. But we never do that. We always box.
Right after Teofimo's father laid out that mental chess narrative, the energy shifted again when Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr. weighed in. Two fighters who have truly lived in the ring. Listening to them, it's clear this is the grown man perspective on boxing. They pointed out what many of us sensed during the press conference. Those weren't just talking points or marketing lines. Those were fighting words. But their analysis goes deeper. Shakur Stevenson has an uncanny ability to create on the fly. He doesn't rely on scripts or mood swings. He reads, reacts, and builds his strategy round by round, almost like painting without looking at the canvas. Teofimo Lopez, meanwhile, is explosive and brilliant, but when the chaos hits, he still leans on structure to regain his rhythm.
I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience, and the athleticism and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line. Now, every now and again, he'll go away from the outline that he has and he'll do something dope and he'll be like, oh, that was cool. That wasn't on the outline right there. But I don't think that he can create on the fly like a Shakur.
Ward and Roy aren't taking shots at Teofimo. In fact, they are giving him credit for a clever strategy. The apparent disrespect at the press conference wasn't random. It was calculated bait. The goal wasn't to win an argument, but to provoke Shakur into reacting emotionally rather than executing with precision. That's high-level psychological games. Here's where Ward and Jones hit the nail on the head. Trying to drag a calm, disciplined fighter into chaos rarely works, especially when he understands the tactic. If Shakur falls for it, Teofimo gains an edge. If he stays patient, the plan collapses. The interesting part? The legends admit that if someone had spoken like that to them, it could have ended in a scrap right there. But Shakur isn't built that way. He doesn't need to win the moment. He only needs to win the fight. This is the core of the matchup. It isn't about who shouts louder or looks tougher. It's about who maintains composure when the script disappears and the canvas starts shifting beneath them.
I think that Teo just painted the outline by being as disrespectful as he can at the press conference. Because he wants to try to piss this kid off so the kid come fight with him. You understand me? Because with me, he have exactly what he wanted. Because as soon as I go in there, I'm coming straight to his head. You understand where I'm coming from? So, but I think that's what he's trying to get. Yeah, you feel me? But I think that's what he's trying to get Shakur to do. Because why would you say that to a person? What does that have to do with boxing? You feel me? He knows that Shakur has great feet and he's not going to be able to catch Shakur if he lets Shakur take his time to do what he does. So he got to try to make Shakur come in and try to kill him, which is what he just did at the press conference.
Right after Ward and Jones broke down the high-level blank canvas versus structured outline approach, the conversation shifts into something even more revealing: first-hand experience. That's where Keith Conlon's insight really stands out. Now we're not talking theory. We're talking rounds actually shared inside the ring. Listening to him, it becomes clear why Shakur Stevenson is such a nightmare matchup. Conlon isn't suggesting Shakur has psychic powers. He's saying Shakur reads subtle cues like body language subtitles, a dip here, a shoulder turn there. And he already knows what's coming before his opponent fully commits. It's terrifying, not because of raw speed, but because of how he processes and anticipates. And the most striking part? Conlon delivers it casually, as if being 2 or 3 steps ahead at all times is just normal. That explains why Shakur stays calm while others appear flustered. He's not reacting late, he's reacting early.
Just sparring him and then watching him, I always notice, I'm like, dang, when he, if you really pay attention to when he spar, when he fight, he already know what you're going to throw before you throw it. Not because he's some type of, boxing guru or anything like that, but because he reading your body language. If you dip to this side, I'm already blocking for a possible hook or uppercut. I don't need to worry about a jab or right hand, because you're not, the probability of you throwing that is not even, But so just watching him and sparring him, being in the ring with him, it's like, dang, just him understanding what a person could throw based on their body positioning. It always put him 2-3 steps ahead of his opponent.
Hearing it straight from someone who's actually stepped in the ring with him reinforces exactly what Ward and Jones were saying. Shakur doesn't need chaos. He thrives on clarity. He doesn't force the fight. He lets the picture form, and then adjusts. Almost like editing a scene in real time, Colon drives the point further by breaking down why Teofimo Lopez, as dangerous as he is, must stay sharp for all 12 rounds. He gives Teofimo full credit, calling this a tougher matchup than Shakur's last fight because Teofimo is athletic, explosive, and always alert. That's fair, but the gap shows in the details. Small habits, like dropping the lead hand when throwing body shots, don't matter much until you face someone who lives off tiny openings. Colon points out moments where Teofimo didn't adjust quickly enough in past fights. And that's exactly what Shakur exploits. One small mistake becomes a pattern. The pattern turns into points, and suddenly rounds slip away before you even realize it.
For sure, the most notable thing that come to mind is I remember when he fought Sander Martin. Every time he threw a right hand to the body, he never had his lead hand up. Sander Martin was just check hooking him to death. I'm just like when he's just gonna make the adjustment, you know, when he gonna realize that he just keep getting hit with the right hook every time he try to throw the right hand. So those are the small adjustments that he had to make because, you know, sharp fighter, they gonna capitalize. So he gotta be on his.
Khan isn't forecasting drama or big knockouts. He's talking about sustained pressure, mental pressure. The kind that can force Teofimo into desperate decisions late in the fight, while Shakur quietly extends his advantage. That's the most dangerous version of Shakur Stevenson. Not flashy, not loud, just precise, composed, and walking away with a win while everyone else is still debating when the tide turned. Step back and look at the bigger picture. This fight is no longer just a clash of styles. It's a psychological showdown under the brightest lights. On one side, Shakur Stevenson, calm, calculating, spotting patterns before they fully form. On the other, Teofimo Lopez, explosive, emotional, and capable of turning the fight in an instant if given the slightest opening. The press conference showed how personal it has become. Teofimo's father revealed the depth of their team's belief in their strategy. Ward and Jones highlighted that words can be traps. Keith Colon confirmed what fighters already know. Shakur doesn't rush chaos. He waits for it to unfold, and that's why January 31st is so compelling. This isn't about hype anymore. It's about which fighter stays true to their identity when the pressure rises and the fight gets uncomfortable.
The stuff that he's tightening up things for Shakur to prepare for him, but also in sparring because, you know, he may have lagged during his last sparring. So it's a lot, but it's definitely doable. And you know, but this is you know, the time is now. You know, at the end of the day, oh yeah, for sure, I feel like Shakur is gonna outbox him, and it's gonna be a point in time until he kind of get desperate, and that's when the gap is going wide, and then Shakur is just gonna, you know, come out with a clean